Paris, the capital and largest city of France, is home to over 13 million people. Set along the River Seine, in the heart of the Île-de-France region, Paris is one of the world's most iconic destinations, famous for its timeless beauty, rich history, and vibrant culture. From the Eiffel Tower to the Louvre, and from charming cafes to riverside strolls, every corner offers a story in this unforgettable city. Welcome to the City of Light. Our tour for today starts with the most iconic landmark in Paris, the Eiffel Tower. The Eiffel Tower, one of the most recognizable landmarks in the world, is situated in Champs-Élysées in Paris. Designed by engineer Gustave Eiffel and built between 1887 and 1889, it was originally created as the centerpiece of the World's Fair, celebrating 100 years since the French Revolution. Nicknamed Iron Lady for its wrought iron structure, the tower was initially criticized by artists and intellectuals. However, over time, it became a global symbol of France and a masterpiece of engineering and design. Rising to a height of 330 meters, about the size of an 81-story building, it was once the tallest man-made structure in the world, holding that title for 41 years. The Eiffel Tower features 3 levels open to the public, with restaurants on the lower floors and breathtaking panoramic views from the top observation deck, which sits 276 meters above the ground. Visitors can climb over 600 steps or take a lift to reach the summit. Today, it is one of the most visited monuments globally, attracting millions of visitors each year. By walking through the Trocadero Square and riding a bus northwards, we will reach our next destination, the Arc de Triomphe. The Arc de Triomphe is one of the most iconic monuments in Paris, standing proudly at the western end of the Champs-Élysées. It sits at the center of Place Charles de Gaulle, where 12 grand avenues radiate outward in a star-like pattern, making it a striking focal point of the city. Commissioned in 1806 by Napoleon Bonaparte after his victory at Austerlitz, the monument was built to honor those who fought and died for France during the French Revolutionary and Napoleonic Wars. Its walls are engraved with the names of generals and victories, preserving a powerful legacy of French history. Beneath the arch lies the tomb of the unknown soldier from World War I, marked by an eternal flame that burns in memory of unidentified fallen soldiers. Designed by architect Jean-François Chalgrin and inspired by ancient Roman arches, the arch stands nearly 50 meters tall and was once the tallest triumphal arch in the world. Today, it remains a symbol of national pride and a key landmark along Paris's historic axis, connecting the Louvre to the modern skyline of La Défense. By going southeast from the Arc de Triomphe, we will find our next destination, the Avenue des Champs-Élysées. The Champs-Élysées is one of the most famous avenues in the world, often called the most beautiful avenue on earth. Located in the heart of Paris, it stretches for nearly 2 kilometers, connecting the historic Place de la Concorde to the iconic Arc de Triomphe. Lined with theatres, cafes, and luxury shops, the Champs-Élysées is a vibrant hub of culture, fashion, and entertainment. It's also the finishing point of the world-famous Tour de France and the site of France's annual Bastille Day military parade. The avenue takes its name from the Elysian fields of Greek mythology, a paradise for heroes, reflecting its grand and prestigious character. Along the way, it passes through beautiful gardens and landmarks like the Grand Palais and Petit Palais, blending nature with architecture. Today, the Champs-Élysées remains a symbol of Parisian elegance and one of the city's most lively and unforgettable destinations. At the end of Champs-Élysées lies our next destination, the Louvre Museum. The Louvre Museum is the largest and most visited art museum in the world, welcoming millions of visitors each year. Located on the right bank of the River Seine, this iconic landmark was once a royal palace before becoming a public museum during the French Revolution. Originally built as a fortress in the 12th century under King Philip II, the Louvre was later transformed into a royal residence and eventually into a home for France's vast art collection. It officially opened as a museum in 1793, showcasing hundreds of works, many of which were once owned by the monarchy. Today, the Louvre houses over 35,000 works of art, spanning from ancient civilizations to the modern era. Its most famous masterpieces include the Mona Lisa by Leonardo da Vinci, the Venus de Milo, and the Winged Victory of Samothrace. The two nearest metro stations are Louvre-Rivoli and Palais Royal Musée du Louvre, the latter having a direct underground access to the Carrousel du Louvre commercial mall. We will now cross the bridge south to reach our next destination, the Notre-Dame de Paris. Notre-Dame de Paris is a medieval Catholic cathedral on an island in the River Seine and one of the finest examples of French Gothic architecture. Built between 1163 and 1260, it features innovations like rib vaults, flying buttresses, and iconic rose windows, along with grand bells and historic organs. Dedicated to the Virgin Mary, it has played a major role in French history, from damage during the French Revolution to hosting key events like the coronation of Napoleon Bonaparte. Its fame grew further after Victor Hugo's novel, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, which inspired a major 19th century restoration. A devastating fire in 2019 caused severe damage, but after years of restoration, the cathedral reopened in 2024. Today, it remains a powerful symbol of Paris and France, attracting millions of visitors each year. Paris has a long history of Christianity and religion, hence another famous church can be found in this city. Our next destination is the Basilique du Sacré-Cœur de Montmartre. Sacré-Cœur. Basilica is a prominent Catholic church dedicated to the Sacred Heart of Jesus, located at the highest point in Paris on Montmartre Hill. From its dome, it offers sweeping views over the entire city, making it one of Paris's most visited landmarks after the Eiffel Tower. The basilica was proposed in 1870 by Félix Fournier, following France's defeat in the Franco-Prussian War as a symbol of spiritual renewal. Its hilltop location later made it controversial, as it overlooks the site of the Paris Commune. Designed by Paul Abadie in a neo-Byzantine style, construction began in 1875 and took 40 years. It was completed in 1914 and consecrated in 1919. Today, it remains both a religious site, hosting perpetual worship since 1885, and a major cultural symbol of Paris. France was ruled by kings for over 1,000 years. Our next destination, the Palace of Versailles, was the official residence of the most powerful king of France, King Louis XIV. Palace of Versailles is a grand former royal residence located just outside Paris, built to showcase the power and prestige of the French monarchy. Originally a hunting lodge constructed in 1623 by Louis XIII, it was transformed into an opulent palace by his son, Louis XIV, between 1661 and 1715. In 1682, Louis XIV moved the royal court and government to Versailles, making it the political centre of France. This continued under Louis XV and Louis XVI until the outbreak of the French Revolution in 1789, when the royal family returned to Paris and the palace was largely abandoned. Later, Napoleon Bonaparte used part of the estate as a summer residence, but the main palace remained unused until it was restored in the 19th century and converted into a museum of French history. Today, Versailles is owned by the French government and attracts around 15 million visitors each year. Recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1979, it stands as a symbol of France's royal heritage, art, and political history. France has a long history of warfare, and it honors its military history in our next destination, the Hôtel des Invalides. Les Invalides is a historic complex in Paris dedicated to France's military heritage. Originally built as a hospital and retirement home for soldiers, it now houses several museums, including the Army Museum. The site also features the Cathedral of Saint-Louis and the iconic Dome Church, which stands as the tallest in Paris. Beneath this dome lies the tomb of Napoleon Bonaparte, making Les Invalides both a national monument and a tribute to France's military history. Paris is also famous for its opera. Our next destination is Paris's premier opera house, the Palais Garnier. Palais Garnier is a historic opera house built between 1861 and 1875 under Napoleon III and designed by Charles Garnier. Known for its lavish Napoleon III style, it seats nearly 2,000 people and was the main home of the Paris Opera until 1989. Today, it is primarily used for ballet and is considered one of the most famous opera houses in the world, partly inspiring the Phantom of the Opera. Our next destination, the Grand Palais and Petit Palais, are two iconic cultural landmarks in Paris, built for the Exposition Universelle. Located near the Champs-Élysées, they were designed to celebrate French art and innovation at the turn of the 20th century. The Grand Palais is a vast exhibition hall known for its Beaux-Arts architecture, featuring ornate stonework, a massive glass roof, and early use of iron and steel framing. It was created as a grand venue for major artistic and cultural events. Across from it, the Petit Palais serves as the City of Paris Museum of Fine Arts, housing an extensive collection of artworks. Both buildings are officially recognized as historic monuments and remain important symbols of Paris's artistic heritage. Our next destination is the City Hall of Paris, the Hôtel de Ville. Hôtel de Ville is the historic City Hall of Paris, serving as the centre of municipal government since 1357. Originally built in the 16th and early 17th centuries under Francis I of France and later monarchs, it was destroyed during the Paris Commune. Rebuilt between 1874 and 1882 in its original style, it now houses the mayor's office, city council, and official events, remaining a key symbol of Parisian governance and history. Our final destination for today is the Pantheon of Paris. The Pantheon is a historic monument in Paris's Latin Quarter, originally built as a church dedicated to Saint Genevieve under Louis XV. Construction began in 1758 and was completed during the French Revolution. In 1791, it was transformed into a mausoleum honouring distinguished French citizens, inspired by the Pantheon in Rome. Today, it remains a national resting place for notable figures, including Victor Hugo. And that concludes our tour of Paris for today. If you like the channel, please like and subscribe. See you in Paris. Which city should we go to next?